thank you so much for being here, for a start. I know that all of you have other places and other people who would like you to be with them. You are not with your family and friends right now. For one reason or another, you have made the choice to be here, and I thank you for that. What we're going to do requires a little bit of concentration and patience and forgiveness. Forgive me, I'm the messenger, all right? What we're going to look at, or the way in which we will approach this today, will be divided into 3 different sections. In order that you are well informed and eloquent and confident to speak about human trafficking when you walk out that door, the first 25 minutes will be actually me teaching you the basics of human trafficking and modern slavery. The second part will be, let's take a look at the amazing things that are happening with youth in Greece right now to fight slavery. A few months ago, we were honored by the United Nations Global Initiative to Fight Trafficking for what youth are doing in Greece. People don't even know this. The third part is we're going to take a look at 3 video clips and see how they can be exploited in the classroom from what I would suggest senior B up to adult learners. Age appropriacy and sensitivity to the subject is absolutely crucial because the subject is barbaric, it is cruel, and it's about making money. That is the first thing I want to convey to you. The buying and selling of human bodies and human body parts is just a business. The pimps, oh, it's nothing personal, it's just a business. Excuse me, that young girl who is 18, who should be in Likio, was raped by 35 men this morning, and you're telling me it's just a business? How dare you? If it is a business, as we know, there requires a demand to sustain the need for the product or the service. If the demand goes down, the business goes down. We live in a country predominantly of demand. Globally, there are countries of supply and countries of demand. She's being recorded on the webcam. Hello, excuse me. Your conversation's on. All right. Are you okay with, because I can't see you, are you all right for the, you don't need me to use a mic or anything like that? No. Okay, fine. I have been personally around the world of human trafficking for over 12 years. I am not a psychologist working in a shelter. I am not a lawyer fighting trafficking people. I am not a law enforcement officer who has experienced an organized crime. I do, however, work with those 3 organizations. In fact, I was talking to the head of organized crime this morning because of a case involved in Crete. Here's the one person I absolutely trust because I have hidden a victim in my house and I have seen him take care of this person and I have seen how his lawyers up in Thessaloniki have fought for her justice in court, and her traffickers are behind bars for 15 years, as so they should be, even though they are women. How dare they put this young woman in front of a hotel in central Athens and say, you come back with your quota, or you're going to be sorry. She was so sorry, they pushed her so hard through the glass that her head cut open, and she was that far from brain damage. Hey, but it's all about money. It's just nothing personal, it's just about money. Yeah? Reality check. You're probably thinking, but I thought she wrote kids' books. She does, did. So at least most of you know that I do have a different life as well. What I did some years ago is I stopped writing, and I stopped doing other things, and I thought, given what I love, theatre, events, hip-hop, dance, education, social media, internet, given these things that I love, and given that I'm around kids, and given what I know about modern slavery, how dare I go to my grave not putting those things together and fighting for justice, which is where I'm coming from, by the way. And as you know, the project is called the No Project. I'm thinking of changing the name to the No Bloody Money Project, because quite frankly, we have zero funding. We're not even a registered NGO, but we live off kind of like when kids do hip-hop dances and sort of give us a donation. I did a session in a school recently where 5 teenage boys came up to me with a jar and they said, "We didn't know you were coming today, but here's €13." It's like, thanks guys, I'll make some more posters, I'll spread the word. I was recently doing a session in the heart of Greece, Pαγκρητio, with over about 150 teachers. And, are you all right?
No, you forgot to put the plug in.
Oh.
So I've had to just...
I forgot to put what in? The laptop plug in?
Yeah.
Oh, just a minor issue, electricity. Yes, thank you so much for being right there. So we'll go to the next slide in a moment. So let's go back. Slavery. I use the word slavery in we're all slaves to this system. Wrong. Can you vote? Yeah. Do you have the right to wear what you want to wear on a given day? Yeah. Do you have the right to look for a job? Yeah. Do you have the right to go to the bathroom? Yeah. Do you have the right to sleep with who you choose to sleep with? Yeah. Do you have the right not to be touched by strangers? Yeah. Then you're not a slave. There is nothing metaphoric or poetic about the word slave. So the question is, well, how do you define slavery? And Kevin Bales, Professor Kevin Bales, the founder of an organization, Global, called Free the Slaves, has come up with a pretty good definition. Somebody who is somebody who is forced to carry out tasks through the use of violence, who is owned by another individual, in other words, controlled, in order for economic gain. These 3 criteria. Are we right?
Yeah.
Oh,
They give you a piece of advice about
yes.
your computer, why it's slowed down. It's because you put too many things on the wall, on the desktop.
You should have seen it before I cleaned it up half an hour ago. I know, every kid tells me, like, what are you doing?
The files should be in the directory. You didn't put the power work.
No, she didn't plug it in. All right, but I still know, I can still keep going. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, but it's just going to reframe itself in a second. It's not reframing. I don't know why that's... Is it, did we bump this? No. Keep going to the next one. The other, it's changed the resolution. So there we go. Nothing poetic or... Can we somehow change the formatting of that? But it was fine before. Anyway, let's keep going. Yep. The next slide. Do you want, I suggest, why don't you close that one out? And then we... Oh, I know what it's doing.
What's that?
Because it's just go to PowerPoint and open it up as in view. Where's the view? There we go. Slideshow? Is that what you did? Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know. We'll see. It's all right. Anyone want to fess around while I keep going? No, it's stupid. The settings were fine a minute ago.
Yeah.
Close it down, I'll say. Restart.
Restart it again.
Yeah, just close the computer and start.
No, it must be the screen settings, though. It's the screen settings.
Oh, why don't we just save that smaller version? Who cares? I don't know. So, let's keep going. So, in terms of slavery, that's what I'm talking about. And the question is, well, how are these slaves used? If money is the goal, it is a business of supply and demand. How are they used? And my question, can we? I'll tell you what. No, it's all right. Did you close it out or not yet?
Yeah, but I think I'm not sure if it is a screen resolution. We could try it.
Can I ask you a favour? Could you go and get Christos and ask him to put that in, and I'll just keep going all the time.
What?
No, and here's my.
I'll go for Christos.
Super, and that'd be great, and then we'll just use that.
What is this,
That's right. We just keep go through. The item keeps talking about.
which one?
What I want to say is that everything that you see up here is available on downloadable on the Facebook page or on the site. Keep going.
Can we go down another one, yeah? I was going to try and reset the screen.
And
isn't it?
that's right. I just want to keep going.
This one.
Everything's in Greek and English. There's a Greek section as well, and bit more. All right, and the next one.
Number 9.
Yep. And then keep going. Ah, yes. One definition which journalists, I'm afraid, still confuse is the difference between human smuggling and human trafficking. Sometimes the translation in Greek can sound remarkably similar. They're not. These are two completely different crimes, and they should not be confused. The typical scenario of smuggling is as follows. I come, for example, I'm a person whose country is at war, and I want to get out of that country. I get as much money as I can together, and I pay a smuggler to help me cross a border illegally. And then, in theory, once I've crossed that border, I have my freedom. It's like, good luck, welcome to Europe, you know, there you go. I have committed a crime. I'm the criminal, you might say. I have committed a crime against a state, or against, you can't commit a crime against a border, but the law is that I have entered illegally. That is smuggling. Human trafficking is different. And that's what my focus is. Human trafficking is, oh, there's a job waiting for me as a hairdresser. That's great. I come across the border brilliantly.
Better.
Yes, better. Can we go full screen or not?
I think we can, yeah.
So, coming back to trafficking, I, in general, enter the country legally.
Which one you got? Which one you
That's
got?
all right. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. Stop. Lovely. So with human trafficking, I enter the country legally. I am not an undocumented migrant or illegal immigrant. But then I cross that border. My human trafficker, okay, passport. What? Why do you need my passport? Passport, thank you. Yep. Passport's gone. By that evening, if it's for sexual exploitation, I will be broken in. Virginity doesn't have a very high price in Greece. It does in other countries. I will be broken in, raped, you know, passed around to his friends as a favor, and by the next day, I will be serving customers. Simple as that. Next slide. 1. Forced sexual exploitation. Journalists used to say, they're getting smarter, but it's like, oh, trafficking, prostitution. No. Rape. We talk about sex tourism in Thailand, sex tourism in Cambodia, Nepal. How about rape tourism? Anybody who is a minor, it's rape, minor as in underage. Coming back to language, as you know, I love it. There is no such thing as child prostitution. What child wants to be prostituted? When I see this phrase, child prostitution, it's rape. Prostituted children? Maybe. For those of us, there are hundreds and thousands of us fighting trafficking on the planet, by the way. I'm not the only one. But I'm one of the few in Greece. So, forced sexual exploitation, pornography. In the Philippines, they show this beautiful animation. I was recently at the Boston Film Forum Against Human Trafficking. This animation is called Red Leaves Falling. And they have to play it to senior A kids, 9-year-olds, to warn them about trafficking. What is this planet coming to that? That's how we have to deal with it, yeah? But there was one moment, and it's not often that I cry during an animation, but there was one moment where this little girl in the brothel in the animation was taking off her red top, you know, a girl's body, not a woman's, and then the animation pulled back, and there were cameras in the room live streaming what she was going to be doing, and then the camera pulled back and there were guys clicking on the mouse all around the world. Oh, it's just for money. That little girl being raped by a client, live streaming, thousands of dollars, and a ruined life, and a ruined body, by the way. Domestic service, and I'm talking about maids. We'll take a look at some artwork around that. I was doing a session in Athens with teenagers, and a little girl came up to me afterwards and said, Miss Judy, my mother's got this friend, and anyway, there was this maid in the house, and she wasn't allowed her passport. You do not have the right to withhold somebody's passport, first sign of trafficking. And anyway, her salary went down, and then they didn't pay her, and then on Sundays they locked her in the room, to the point where the little 6-year-old boy sang, "You can't run away, you can't run away." Classic trafficking. Behind closed doors, the abuse of domestic workers globally is horrific, to the point where Beirut, Lebanon, was sending back home a body a week. One woman whose body was recently sent back to Nepal, and you could look at anti-slavery international documentaries, are brilliant. Her body was sent back to this mountain village in Nepal. What was missing? Organs, teeth. How dare a medical professional take the organs of her body? Oh, it's just about money. This drives me nuts. Global publishers, with the exception of those who sponsored me today, for the most part, don't touch this subject. Why? Because it's too political. Excuse me, you've got the word famine in every FCE book, and you're telling me, that's political, by the way, famine. Let's not go like that. You're telling me you're not going to put this in the books. So I'm a bit nuts about that one, by the way. At least I'm not on screen saying it. It's like, I remember 25 years ago sitting in my international house in London, working with some authors who were begging publishers to put in a unit about ecology. It was very radical, hippie, out there to do an ecological unit. It would be unthinkable today not to have an entire series about the state of the world. So why is there such a focus on the physical crisis of the planet if we are not looking at the most fundamental, debased form of humanity, which I would say is owning another human being, slavery? So, watch out, global publishers, 2012. I am so going to get, and it requires a discussion. I'm not saying we're going to put this in for 9-year-olds. Maybe we should be. Maybe we should be teaching parents. Farm labor, construction, fishing, factory work. It just goes on and on and on, including cocoa, chocolate. Please try and find something that says fair trade. Pretty much all the chocolate you eat innocently and enjoy has got the very strong possibility of child labor involved. 40% of the cocoa is grown in the Ivory Coast, and kids are used as slaves. They are trafficked from other countries. They do not see their families again. Those kids should be playing in school. Which brings me to prevention, education. Traffickers love turmoil. They love chaos. They love war. It's like, bring it on. Just bring it on, because we've got endless supply. And the crazy stories I've heard people believe, but I didn't think this would ever happen to me. And then you get the guilt thing, that I didn't want to go to the police. Number one, I was scared. But number two, I was the one who wanted a better life. Since when has it been a crime to want a better life? Have you ever heard anyone say, gee, I wish my life was worse? Emma Thompson, the actress, has worked on art and a brilliant art film, it's on the homepage of the website, called The Journey. And really brings home that the women are so exploitable, and men, just because they want a better life or to earn enough money to pay for something, or a debt which they incurred because of surgery or a wedding or something. It is not a crime to want a better life. Can we go to the next one? I'm going to have to move it a bit forward. Yes. Tricky one, this one. It does suggest that countries which actually legalize prostitution have a very high trafficking rate, because why would you pay for something that's more expensive than when you can get it cheaper? Some very forward countries are now criminalizing the client. Thank goodness there are new laws pretty much in many countries that no longer criminalize the underage people who are being sold for sex. They cannot be criminalized, but they still are. Let's go. Oh, I thought I deleted that slide. No. No. If slavery as a concept generates $40 billion, this is very difficult to estimate because it's a hidden crime. But if it does, 70% of that is down to sex, the sex industry. What does that say about the 21st century? How utterly obsessed are we with the disposability of intimacy? I wish this wasn't on webcam. Yeah, as part of my research, I work in brothels in Athens, going in and talking to girls. And I was in one recently, and you know, where are you from? Romania. When did you arrive? We were expecting like last year, 6 months. Wednesday. We're talking, you know? How did you get here? My boyfriend's friend brought me here. But don't forget, she's not wearing much. Cameras everywhere. Clients waiting outside. And then she got out her mobile phone. What did she show me? No, a 3-year-old son. I won't show you the clip today, but with credit to an amazing filmmaker who's won awards around the world and whose film was shown at the Thessaloniki Film Festival, Mimi Shakarova, teaches at, I think, UCLA, photojournalism, has made an incredible movie called The Price of Sex. It's online, watch it with a big box of tissues. There's one woman who can't hold a job down, she's 25. Her body is so completely ruined, she keeps going to the bathroom. She was thrown over a balcony in Turkey. Let's go. Yeah, I'm very proud of the Greek judges at present. In the last month, due to an incredible lawyer in Thessaloniki, traffickers have been sent away for up to 15 years. This is as it should be. For the most part, trafficking though, traffickers don't get caught. Still a bit of a joke. It's easy money. Scare the victims. When asked why he didn't traffic drugs or weapons instead of people, he answered, I traffic people for the simple reason that the goods are a lot cheaper than a Kalashnikov or kilo of heroin. I'm in less danger if I sell a person than if I sold drugs or weapons. Plus, the goods can move themselves. You kick them and they walk. Thessaloniki. This is everywhere, guys. It's not just Greece. Trust me. And publishers, well, I'm not saying publishers put that in a book, obviously. But not just ELT publishers, educational publishers. Come on, guys. Wake up. Let's go. That's really old. It's cheaper now, €10. 3 on the streets of Athens. But a body can generate 100,000. You have 10 women, you've got 1 million tax-free. Why? Oh, because there's a demand. Can we go to the next one? Oh, I don't read Romanian. But this is the next one. Remember I just mentioned Mimi Shakarova, Price of Sex? Oh, sorry, love, can you go back? This is the accounts kept very neatly in beautiful handwriting of a trafficker and her women, his women. how many clients, what she gained, and the girl's expenses. She even had to pay for her own forced abortions. Let's go. And this is Mimi's statement. This was on, I'm a friend of Mimi's, and this was on her Facebook page about a week ago. Traffickers are business people. Plain and simple. You know? Oh, we won't focus on this. You can read it online. Sometimes I question myself. And I say, come on, you know, am I going overboard? You know, and every time I think that, I hear more stories, by the way. But in the center of Athens, there was a very large art installation against human trafficking by the No Project and artists. And I said to a friend of mine who does street work with rescue, I said, am I going overboard? She said, come on, Judy. Yesterday I was talking to a girl utterly terrified out of her mind. She was 18, it was a Sunday afternoon last June, and she'd had 35 guys. Forced. She didn't go to the police, too scared. Traffickers say, we know where you're from, we know your family. We know. Let's go. You can read that online and say the next one. It's the Greek version. So I say, well, that's pretty unacceptable. What are we going to do about it? And I think as we're, and there's no children here. There's no young ones here, huh? No, yeah, it's sit on, yes. I think part of it is that we have to face a rather challenging reality that globally we quietly endorse paid sex. There are cultural attitudes, not just in Greece, globally, that allow us to turn a blind eye. Ekala, men will be men. Andrasine. I told this to a 16-year-old kid in Athens who turned around like a tiger and said, what? There is no logic in this statement. Your beautiful car gets stolen, brand new, and you go, Ekala, thieves will be thieves, thieves, you know. What is this? And she said, what is this phrase, Andras? These are men. You know, she was like, well, okay. I know of a case of a woman who takes her son, adult son, who has Down syndrome, for paid sex on a regular basis. Would she do that if that child was a woman? No. I didn't ask her. I didn't think about it until afterwards. It's like, boom. So what is this phrase? And, you know, I was talking to teachers. I think young boys, and I've seen them so many years in class, I think they're incredibly beautiful and romantic and charming and lovely. And I think we mess them up with that attitude. A woman, high society woman in Athens said, Judy, you've got to be careful. You know, we want, you know, you've got to have a stripper at the party. Why? To prove he's not gay. When I said that to 100 teenagers the other day, they just burst out laughing. I thought that was the funniest thing they'd heard. Because first of all, what logic is that? You know? And it's like, why? Because this is complex cultural stuff, not just here. Because who gets blamed if he is gay? Mummy, for mollycoddling. So, you know, in Athens I've heard situations from an uncle, I want a free one because it's my son's birthday and I want him to have a good one. Excuse me, are you buying a car? A piece of, you know, this woman who you're talking about has a story. She has a life. She has maybe 3-year-old Mario. Another cultural perspective that we need to think about is, but it's always existed. What can we do? Well, as far as I'm concerned, disease has always existed. And we sure and hell spent a lot of money on trying to deal with that one. Wasn't leprosy mentioned in the Bible? In the Old Testament? Wasn't it? Leprosy in the Bible? Yeah, anyway, disease has been around for millennia. Oh, it doesn't matter, they're dying, disease, gada. Since when has time alone? Time is not a logical argument for anything. There's no logic to that statement. I've forgotten what the third cultural. Oh yes, it's a woman's choice what she does with her body. Jumping out of a burning building, questionable concept of choice. Choice implies alternatives. If you're in a village and you're sick and there's poverty and you hear these stories of hope, you know, you think, well, die out of starvation or go abroad. Bit of a strange concept of choice, isn't it? And then once you get here, there is no choice. The brave ones run away. You know, unbelievable stories of bravery. So there we have it. I think it might be time for a video. Can I play 2 or 3 videos now? Little clips. These videos I do not suggest you use in the classroom. These are for you right now, maybe with adults. Later on we'll look at more appropriate ones. Can you close this one out for a moment? How are you doing? Are you all right there? Any? Okay, yes. Yeah, super. Oh, it's good. Stop. Go. For some, it's doing that thing where I need to. Were you managing to read it? Love 146 are my global partners. Now, they work a lot in Romania with prevention. They teach high school kids in Romania how to read and identify the newspaper advertisements That's the reading task in a classroom. And so what I want to do now is liaise much more with high school kids. I'm going to Bulgaria soon, working there. That's a country of supply, Romania, country of supply. We're the country of demand. Let's have another one. Can you see very young girls, Greek? Here we go. I have a lot to do with the States. There's an amazing woman called Rachel Lloyd who is one of the world authorities. Her book, Very Young Girls, or Girls Like Us, I think should be required reading by every educator on the planet. She works with girls who have been trafficked internally. You do not need to cross a border to be a victim of human trafficking. I even know of a case where a girl from Crete is probably being trafficked in Athens as we speak. This is how pimps recruit in the States. And all that hip-hop stuff about pimp, 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 trafficker, trafficker, torture. They go to a mall. This comes from a friend of a woman I know, Ambassador Swanee Hunt, who got this straight from an FBI agent. Go to the mall, go up to a girl and say, "You have beautiful eyes, you know." "Thank you." The pimp just keeps on walking. Goes to the next one. "You've got beautiful eyes, you know." "Oh, no, I haven't." "Gotcha." Two completely different characters. The first one has the background or the child rearing, I don't know what it is, but she's integrated. She's accepted a compliment and moved on. Why, thank you. The other one, what kind of self-esteem when paid a compliment, "Your beautiful eyes"? "Oh, no, I haven't." Denial, look down. What went on in that kid's life earlier to a greater or lesser extent that she isn't like the first girl? Got you nice meal, some cheap jewelry. 2 days later, "You know what you call me?" What did they have to call the pimp? You got it. Call me daddy. Because I'm your daddy now. And finally, that young girl, in her first time in her life, has a sense of belonging. You want to see her face and what she looks like in hospital if she doesn't bring daddy home €1,000 by the end of the night or the week? So all that stuff about, you know, the girls and the hookers and all these, and the hoe and all this language. How about victim of abuse and rape? That would be a lot more accurate. Can we go to that very young person? Might be the double thing. Yeah, this is what I do. It's really do. I do. Quick, give me 1 second, guys, and then we just start again.
When I first started, I was 13. Dad was 14. I was only 12 years old. At the time, he was like, what, 29, 30?
We gonna find a little hole today, you know what I'm saying? Put on that curve, make that edge, you understand that?
So where you was heading to and all that? I want to talk to you more, you know what I'm saying? You got a nice little thing going on, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, yo.
You're just such a sweet talker. This has been 4 years of her life, from 12 to 16. He's 35. He's basically raised her. If you're prepared to stay and have it stay the same and get worse, then you need to understand that's what it is, but it will not get better. You deserve to just have a regular life. You deserve to go back to school, get a job, and work in a pet store and do all the things that you want to do. But those have to be your choices, sweetie. I can't make those choices for you.
In any other situation, she would be too young to consent to sex. To have her charged on prostitution charges is a little absurd.
She's
treated like a criminal. After all the stuff that happened to her, instead of them taking her to the hospital, they took her to the jailhouse.
I think it's one of the most despicable things a person anybody can do. You're my mother. You know how that makes me feel?
Incredible movie, seen by 4 million people worldwide. Do you remember, did you see at the beginning there was an African American guy saying, "Come on, we'll go out tonight"? Yeah. He made that footage because he wanted to sell it to a reality show. They were making a documentary on how to be with him. And it was subsequently used in court against them. Amazing. Can someone tell me what the time is? 25 6. Can I show you one more? Okay.
I started when I was 13.
I was really young, and people that fought me were people that were looking for, child fetishes.
There was like 15 of them in a room, and I was really scared.
He cut me with a knife to be able to penetrate me. I was only 5.
I was crying because I was scared, and he had sex with me, and that was my first time. I still had on my school uniform.
Cambodia have 99.9% of the time already abused children in their own country.
The one girl right in New York that we're all taking hits on, she's like scared out of her mind. She was kind of young, like she's afraid to actually go through with it.
All right, Brian, we got her.
We as a nation are going to have to sit back, take a deep breath, and realize, oh my God, this is in our neighborhoods, in our families, in our communities. That's right under our noses.
We frequently see drugs and psychological brainwashing become part of the process of keeping them committed to the offender.
Men will actually fly into Atlanta, get on the internet, say I want a boy who has no hair on his head, no hair anywhere, I want him to look like he's 13, I want him to be no taller than 5'2", order it, show up here, have sex, and be gone.
See,
the sexual exploitation of children has become a cottage industry, driven by the internet.
It's very difficult for us to define the problem of child pornography to the American public because it's something we obviously can't show them.
There are some of the acts that I couldn't even describe to you, against children so young that no normal person could look at that without being disturbed.
It ain't about sex. It just be about business, that's it. Once you get them to go the first time, then you got a better chance of getting them to keep going.
I was really nervous, and I was really scared, and he was holding his gun and shot me.
Cannot arrest 11, 12, and 13-year-olds and charge them with prostitution. You cannot criminalize children.
I think people view the prostitution like a victimless crime. Most of the girls that we come across nowadays are 13, 14, 15 years old. I know these girls didn't wake up one morning and say, I want to be a prostitute today.
There are millions and millions of photos of children who are being sexually abused. Nobody knows who these children are.
And it raises the question to us, are there that many pedophiles out there? Or is something else happening?
How are you doing? Yeah. You can imagine why I'm at a party. What do you? I fight trafficking. Oh, that's nice. Oh, here's some stuff from an artwork piece that we do. And that's going to bring us to the next piece. See these little clothes? See these little pieces of underwear? Little short sakis for the little boy. Obviously that's red paint, it's metaphoric. Which brings us to the next section. So what? What do we do? Just close our eyes and carry on? I can't, unfortunately. Teenagers like that slide. And I do confess, I do tap into the resiliency and the rebellious side of teenagers who don't want to do what the previous generation have done. I was doing a session last year and they said, and one girl was so angry for 2 reasons. She said, first of all, I'm graduating next year from high school. How come I know nothing about this? Good point. And secondly, why did you let this happen to the previous generation? This is not a natural disaster. This is not a volcano or a tsunami. This is a human-made crime, and it requires a human solution. Slavery didn't sort of happen because the clouds and the atmospheric pressure lined up a certain way. And the more we close our eyes, the worse it's going to get. Whether it be domestic servitude, or a little girl aged 10 years old in Nigeria. I've just read this book. I know it's fiction. I know it. It's called fiction. It's not. In London, you know, sleeping under a table as a 10-year-old girl, trafficked to London, used on a nightly basis by the father, and oh man, you know, I know the author. Why did she send it to me? That does your head in when you see this. It really does. The homepage of the No Project has a list of amazing sites. You know, I don't have the resources to go make documentaries around the world, but I sure check out who's good and who's doing what. This is my job. 16 hours a day sometimes. Let's go to the next slide. So, and we're going to move forward for the next 10 minutes quite fast, looking at what is going on. So I figured, what do I like? Music, art, education. I love being around teachers, students. And I thought, I'm going to focus on demand. And I'm going to focus on young people because that's what I'm most comfortable with. And I'm not going to waste my energy trying to change people's behavior over 30. So my target audience is sort of 16 to 30. So what do 16 to 13-year-olds do? Sport, music, hip-hop, dance. That's my focus. And let's go. Yep, we're going to go quite fast. This crew here are the global champions of hip-hop. They have 3 million hits on YouTube. And what are they wearing? They're wearing the t-shirts. Keep going up. They're called Request. By chance, they're from New Zealand. Keep going. That's them there. Oh, and here's Request. That girl in the middle is one of the top hip-hop people in the States. And she's on board. Keep going. And there's a top crew called Street Kingdom, who are also on board. Let's go. This is the age down, called Varsity Age. They're on board. World Champions 2011. And next one. Oh, who are these? Greek Champions, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're called. 2011 champions who went to Las Vegas to compete in the hip-hop Olympics, shall we say, from Hip Hop International. You go. And where are they here? That's the crew. They're at the US Embassy. The US Embassy invited the No Project of artists from Greece to have an exhibition for 5 months. And when there was a very unofficial date with the ambassador, the crew were invited to dance. Keep going. And that's the ambassador, Daniel Smith. Let's go. Artwork. I work with TAE students, specifically with animation students, and that was from a storyboard. So I said to Andreas, Andreas, can I use your image, please, for the back of the t-shirt? And when Andreas saw that, he nearly cried. He's so proud. So he donated that to me. Let's go. Effie Papa is an award-winning animator from Greece. I can can never say the name of the town. There, yes. People with imaginations as big as the sea. Effie Papa is now doing a master's at a very exclusive film school in London, in FTS. Her award-winning, beautiful video, 1 minute long, is perfect for little ones. We're going to watch it later. Let's go. More kids at the USMC. By the way, my teenagers can't buy these unless they've done the workshop. I don't want ill-informed, misinformed people around trafficking. I want smart, sharp, argumentative minds. And they've all done several sessions with me. So some kids said, after a session like this is disgusting, what can we do? Let's raise awareness. Let's do an evening for our parents and grandparents. They got 4 schools together and hip-hop crews and dancing with some video clips like the 2 you just saw. And I made a little speech. But really, it was up to them. People were saying, oh, it was amazing what you did, Judy. He's like, I didn't do anything. They organized everything. Hundreds of people involved on stage. Let's go. Next one. This is just like a school hall, right? But, and the next one, next one, next one. And I invited the Greek champs to show up and dance, which was a big deal. Go back. Go back. These are the 2 girls who organized it. There were parents in the audience crying. They sort of knew a bit about trafficking, but when they saw that Love 146 clip and a couple of others, it's like, oh, now we get the picture. This artwork was done by a 16-year-old in Athens. Huge. It was part of the exhibition in Gazi Technopolis. The next one. Again, meat market. Ismini Black, 16. Next one. Ismini's very smart. She moved from victim-centered, the meat market, to client-centered. This is the waiting room. I don't need to say where it is. With the walls. By the way, it was quite curious because I was in a waiting room recently and there was a kid doing his math homework by the red light. And what I'd seen him just about 10 minutes earlier in another waiting room. It's like, excuse me, how disposable are people? This was the beginning, next, of a piece of art which you will see now. Just so this. This is a huge poster and raises many issues. People say to me, oh, human trafficking, that's such an interesting cause, or such an interesting issue. It's neither an issue nor a cause, it's a crime. And there are perpetrators. There are clients, there are traffickers, and there is us who sit silently and do nothing. We are facilitators. What's the name facilitator? Usually it's a positive concept, isn't it? Yeah. Excuse me, it is. It is. But we're afraid of what? You think you're afraid. How do you think the victim feels right now? You know, keep going. And this, the next one, sorry guys. This actually is part of a sculpture called House of Denial. Downstairs there's Happy Family, in the middle there's a light box with the clients, and upstairs there's very destroyed images. Because downstairs they're wearing blindfolds. And from this blindfolds, the Greek hip-hop champions, ladies and gents, have made a video clip of people walking down the streets, and everyone's chatting away, and they've all got blindfolds on, until the kids take it off. It's quite a good clip, right? Yeah. So that's us. And the next one? Not sure where we go from here. More artwork. It's just about money. Did you hear that guy say before? It's nothing personal, it's just business. You know. Next one. A student came to me and said, I'd really like to do some artwork. No, I did a session, and then he sent me an email saying, oh, I've done a painting for you, this huge painting. Sent I think some of you might have seen a picture. This was the exhibition in Ghazi, where people would come into the room. You see the bed in the back? That bed talked. There was a soundtrack that went with it in Greek, English, cello, violin coming in. Come on, I paid. I paid for you to smile. Come on, smile. Ah, that's better. Hello, Baba. Who is that? Daddy, are you there? Are you coming home? Hello, Gordon. Where are you? Dad, come on. Maria and George are here for dinner. Aren't you coming home? Collision of realities, which again is what the Emma Thompson movie works on. Carry on. Bed of Lies, it's called. It's a great soundtrack by a designer, a award-winning Greek designer, who just gave his time and energy to me to do it. Next one. And these are my little angels that go all over the place. Carry on. And we will read in a second one of the labels. Carry on. And the next one, I think, has, oh no, the labels you can read online, but I think that one was fresh on the market, still gets tired, quite good in filming, popular with older clients. This was taken from Elogos remark, you know, the report card remarks that teachers write. Could do better in class, nice kid, should try harder. You know, those sorts of remarks we all read and write. I thought, what do traffickers say when they're selling it? What's she like? Oh, make sure she has her favorite toy. She's okay. Give her some chocolate ice cream after the film. You know, they must say something. That should be a report card. That should not be traffickers' remarks. This is the screen. And the next image. Those shoes are for a 9-year-old. Carry on. Coming to chocolate. Chocolate slavery, cocoa slavery. Cocoa is used in the cosmetic industry, cocoa butters, cocoa cosmetics, and chocolate. That's one. And this is our cocoa wall, our wall of slavery, which we created in the same installation. Those images I requested and I got permission to use from a documentary. They're basically of a kid's skin peeling, bits are missing. I can't eat chocolate knowing that. Chocolate, cocoa, cream, you know, everything with bits of chocolate, which brings us to the question of individual accountability. Are you going to walk the extra kilometre to a place that you know sells slightly more expensive fair trade chocolate, or are you just going to go to the peripheral? This concept of individual accountability is fundamental to stopping slavery in all forms. And the next one. Again, Greek artists. An artist said to me, a young girl, 21 years old, I'll make you a hand. I said, okay. I don't know what she wanted the hand for, but she showed up with a white hand. And we put it into the installation. I mean, young people are pretty annoyed. They're pretty angry. Let's carry on. Cocoa slavery in Greek and English. Great for reading. Keep going. Fair trade is the label to look for. One option. Keep going. Domestic servitude. Of course this is metaphoric. That is not a real criminal. I mean a real victim. The next one. I don't know. Yeah. This is a huge art passport. The woman who did the hand created these passports. We worked on them together. Next one. And that's the girl. That artwork was done by a guy from Athens Polytechnic who has a degree in engineering. He now studies makeup in Paris. Probably find a better job, actually. But yeah, people are giving their ideas all the time and creating things. And this is the story. My name is Hope. It is so important that we don't walk away shocked and numb and disgusted and angry. Yes, there will be all those things, but underneath that there is a statement, when you are still breathing, there is hope. And that's who we have to fight for. The victims who are victims now and the potential victims. That's where our hope lies. Let's keep on. next one. You remember the little girl in the red dress, about 146? This is outside the National Academy in Trafalgar Square. Is that the National Academy? National Gallery, yes, National Gallery. There was a massive dance, a flash mob. And if you happen to know Jamie Keddy, you know Jamie's website, free lesson plans, lesson streams. He's done a big lesson plan, free download, all about human trafficking. It's really, really good lesson. It's actually two. Perfect, word by word, all the way through, about this dance. 100 West End dancers donated their time and energy to raise awareness about human trafficking with Love 146. And there's Lee in the corner. Okay, bottom. Next one. So, no human trafficking. And hit going. My question is, so where to from here? 2 weeks ago, there was a massive event at OAKA, the basketball stadium in Athens, with 10,000 students from Gymnasio Coeligio, NBA players, celebrities of TV shows I don't even know about. And the No Project was invited to participate as youth ambassadors, artwork, hip-hop before and in the middle. There were lots of pictures outside there before showing all these kids. Curiously, the granddaughter of my sponsor was one of them, which was wonderful. But the question is, where to from here? Number one, learn. Get smart. It's not smuggling. It's not, you have to know a few facts. It's a business. In fact, one of the leading authors on human trafficking, and this is in Greek actually, this is the English version, is a professor at the Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University. He's not a medical person. He's an economist. And he does a breakdown of a body. He looks at trafficking from an economic point of view, because that's what traffickers are in the business for. Okay. Can we close this one? I want to look now at 3 video clips which you could use as the basis for lessons in many different levels. Let's look at a very innocent one, which in fact has no language. And then I want to talk about a couple more. Can you see 1.2 million children? Can anyone see 1.2? There we are. All right. Music. Oh, it's that same thing. Media. Yeah, close out there. Yeah. And then do it again. Sometimes it doesn't. 2 million children are bought and sold across international borders each year. The majority of these victims are forced into the sex trade. Next to you for 1 second. Let's say you had a group of 12-year-olds, senior C, and you play that. 2 ideas how you could exploit that. I've got lots more. You can go into 3. No. Just a couple of ideas how you could exploit that animation in the classroom. You're allowed to talk to each other. Don't go, not Oh, okay, got it. So, with the animation, give us some ideas how you could use it, please.
How we could use it in a classroom situation?
Yep.
I don't know if what I'm about to say, it could work both ways. It's a kind of double act. To be always aware of what surrounds us, to be aware, to be able to distinguish what may harm us, to be aware of negative, but at the same time, will it make us cynical? Will it always make us be on the edge? Like you try to make
but the animation, how would you use that animation in the classroom?
How would I, this is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, even with younger ones?
Even with the younger ones, yeah, you have to be careful, but at the same time, how much stress and emphasis will I put on it so that the children will not, on the other, it can boomerang.
Oh, okay.
And become quite cynical.
Therefore, number 1, know your students quite well before you start
even attempt something like this.
So I wouldn't do it on day 1?
No.
No. Obviously not.
No.
Excellent point. I think cynicism is more of an adult attribute.
Yeah, but still, kids do, they can be motivated.
Very good. Of course, yes.
I would have to map it out and put words in the whole thing.
Put words, how?
Put words. So they see what they have the visual, and they have to come up with the words of the child. As he sees the light, as he follows the light, as the cloud disappears. And so
Did you like it, by the way?
Excellent words.
Isn't it beautiful?
Excellent.
Yeah. Anybody else with words, text?
You could discuss feelings, perhaps.
Feelings? Which feelings would help?
Yeah. Feelings at the beginning, the girl, how the girl felt at the beginning, happy, exploiting what is around her, feeling thrilled, happy, whatever, and then what happens later on in contrast.
Yes. Anything else?
Do you discuss with them what you think what they think it is?
I would. Yeah. But I would because it's so poetic, isn't it? I mean, it's so metaphoric and poetic, and they're flying through, and she's a daydreamer, and she loves flowers and sun, and then she's tricked, isn't she, by the mean, nasty plant. I would take it down to that narrative level and explore it almost with a slight mythology, storytelling level. And then, I mean, this is what I would have done, but in terms of the writing, I'd get narratives. I'd write the narrative and lead out certain elements if I wanted to follow-up tasks. But it depends on the students. Know your students, please. But she loves to. And have you ever done video telling where you start the story? This little girl. Once upon a time, there was a girl who loved flowers and adventure and. Stop. Okay, and then we go back and do the sentence. And then one day but then suddenly, a big green, I don't know, monster plant, whatever it is. But to engage them on the story level, it's a narrative. And Effie Papa is so sweet and cute and like a narrative. She spent 2 years drawing that. That was not computer. Yes.
She combines the dream with the reality. Very.
Isn't it amazing? It shifts from that. And she loves the girl. I mean, we're doing the simple past, but you can put it into the present. There is a little girl. She loves that. She loves this. She, you know, you can keep it really basic linguistically. But then it moves from the plant, and suddenly
falls down.
She falls. And then all of us, and then it goes to reality.
Yeah.
And quite a magical way.
With the
FC, if you wanted to do exam level, film review. The soundtrack, da-da-da. The flower symbolizes. There are no characters, but the main character, da-da-da. It's a journey, da-da-da. You know, this is all basic language they have to do for that 180 sort of paragraph of film reviews or book reviews or something. It's all there. But on the other hand, it's starting to look at another subject. So what does that big monster plant symbolize? What is it? And at higher levels, what does it represent? What does it portray? I want to see, there was one other thing I thought of. Oh yeah, of all of for little ones, I play it and they watch it again and again. Okay, stop, then we stop. Okay, I want you to draw a picture from the story. And personally, kids will take a different picture, a different image that is relevant to them. And they draw the picture. What's happening there? That's when she does this, and now she's falling in the sky. You know, if you get a bunch of kids and they're all doing the monster plant, you might want to wonder what's going on in the class. But yeah, or to draw a different ending, or to start drawing their own story, or to other things she might daydream about. You can expand it, both linguistically and graphically. I know the time, I know they're packing up and we started late, but the next clip I really, really do want you to watch. It's totally about forced labor, and not one word of sex trafficking, I promise you. And this is perfect for teenagers and above. Have you heard of a group, Radiohead?
Yes.
Radiohead donated us their soundtrack. The words actually don't have anything to do with it, but the cinematography of this is incredible. Now, while you're watching, I'm afraid, because of limited time, I want you to see it with two perspectives. One as a language teacher, and the other one is just to enjoy the beauty of this filming and music. As a language teacher, you're going to see a split screen of two lines. A boy who is privileged, and a boy who is not privileged. You could say have not. But there is something that connects them, links them. This is what I do with students. What is it that links them? Take a guess. Give me some ideas.
Age.
Age? Good one. Never thought about that.
Dreams.
Dreams. Anything else?
Innocence.
Innocence. Yes. This one makes
Ignorance.
What? Ignorance. Ignorance. Yes. Anything else? Actually, it's not something symbolic or conceptual or abstract. It's a physical thing that links them. Take a guess.
But they're both boys.
They're both boys. You're absolutely right, but that's not what I'm thinking. They're both being abused? No, not in this section.
One is privileged.
No.
They have the same dreams.
Same country, they could be. They could be, they're probably not, but they could be. Yes, what love?
They have the same dreams.
No. They have the same dreams, yeah. Something physical. Do you want to watch it?
They look like.
Yeah. Same, no, I don't think so.
No, it's scary.
Isn't it a beautiful image? I forget who the cinematographer is, but he's very well known. So sit back and enjoy this. And you need to look at it a few times, but this is endlessly exploitable for all sorts of tasks and jobs. Let's go. shoes. Slave-made products. Now, people say, but, and this, you know, this is all sort of exam level thing, the supply chain, supply demand. How can we go down the supply chain? If there's contaminated food or pharmaceuticals, we go down that supply chain in about 48 hours. For me, slavery is contamination. And you know what? People say, oh, but it's so much cheaper. It's actually, the economic thing is not a big argument. Because that piece of slavery is so far way back in the supply chain, when it comes to the consumer, there isn't actually a huge difference in cost. From gold to diamonds, to cocoa, to sugar, to cotton, to shoes. Brings back individual accountability. Isn't this beautiful? Very clever. And the more I watch it, there's one moment when there's a teacher and she does this to his head, you know, during class, she just kind of touches it. And I was doing a seminar and I was like, oh, I was watching it and I got all emotional because I thought, who gives a hug to the slaves? Who gives that, the other guy?
Maybe the boss.
Yeah. Yeah, she bangs on, I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, she bangs on the same.
Oh, at the same time. God, you guys are sharp. Yeah. This is, for me, you know, if anybody wants to try this in the class, please film it and we'll put it on the website. I want lesson plans from this, I just haven't had the time. But I think this could be endlessly exploitable in the class. And in very rich language. And you can bring it down. It's not fair. You know, present continuous. What's he doing? Or daily routines. You know, what's our connection? These are the shoes he made. Bring him the shoes. Do I want to wear them? No thanks. Yeah. Clever, huh? Listen, everything you've seen, every slide, every video clip is on the website. Go to the website and you can download anything you like. All of those slides at the beginning, it's called thenoproject.org. Thenoproject.org. Help yourself. Oh, here it is. I think it might have been.
Yeah, it's here. It's on here.
The No Project. Oh, it's on there, yeah. There is a Greek section. I haven't put the subtitled ones up yet, by the way. All of those subtitling was done by students, by the way. Students are doing everything for me because there's nobody else. I mean, even that slide, download it, talk about it to the students, or what are we talking about here? You know, the definition of slavery, that everything is there. Just please help yourself. Get in touch with me, Judy at thenoproject.org. I'd love to hear about anything that you're doing. Get students to go online and investigate. And as I said, on the homepage of the site, there's a list of amazing organizations. Love 146, Anti-Slavery International, Free the Slaves, you know, who are doing very good work. On an intimate local level, really the only campaign that has a very high security shelter in the country is A21. They are also on the homepage. And go and look at their campaign. They're doing incredible work and they have a very, very good shelter in Thessaloniki. I won't go to that anymore. I don't even know where it is. And I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Yeah. Questions? Thoughts? Comments? How are you feeling? A bit shitty. Is that on the webcam? Could you give us a bit more detail about your bit shittiness?
Be guilty.
Guilty?
Yeah. Thursday, I know Wednesday and Thursday, I think my daughter will have football boots. I'll eat a lot of chocolate.
No, just because you bought football boots don't feel bad. You know, But you go on, what's the company? There is an amazing organization called Slavery Footprint. You can follow how many slaves were involved in various companies and products. But the whole section with the music, and there's a section on the homepage, there's an option, watch, read, books and music videos and film videos. Loads of them for you to help yourself to. If you really wanted to, with a higher level group, you need to watch this yourself. But 17 or 18-year-olds watch this. It's called Human Trafficking. It's with Donald Sutherland. Yeah. It's quite long. And what my students that I'm doing workshops do is I suggest that students for 17 or 18-year-olds do not watch this alone.
Is it about his daughter being kidnapped in Paris?
No. No, I know that one. No, this is more realistic. I say order pizza, get together as a group, buy a box of tissues, watch that. But people must watch this with friends, because all sorts of things have gone behind closed doors in our students' lives. We do not know what this is going to bring up. Yeah, let's be realistic, folks. Yeah, because the more we close our eyes, the more dangerous it's going to be.
Have you had?
Yes. Can you speak up?
Do you do any work or any of these workshops or anything like that here in Crete?
No, I haven't.
Would you?
Would I with 17 or 18-year-olds? I'd want to go on with, it's tricky because I don't know, this is stuff you kind of need to know your classes with. I'm more interested in having 55, 60 teachers because I've got 55,000 students in this room.
True.
You are working with more than 1,000 people over your lifetime, minimum.
You've got that.
Oh, you've got that too. Yeah. No, I've just got the knowledge. Yeah. So you're the top of the pyramid. It's up to you in your gentle, careful way to spread the word. Because only through action and well-informed, non-sensationalist, intelligent kids is anything going to change. And you never know who's going to be in your class. You don't know which policymaker, lawyer, parent, neighbor you're teaching. And you also don't know what might be going on in that kid's life and what they're around. I think it's very safe to say that your classroom is possibly the safest place some of your kids could be. Now that's a very responsible role that you have. Step up to it, because I'm sure you do. We all know that stuff,
I think the culture can be exploited in class and introduce
absolutely
the subject.
Yeah, the posters and everything on. If your kids use Facebook, every image is on Facebook, which is instantly downloadable in color. Yeah, and just printed accordingly. And the translation's very good, by the way. Yeah, so.
How does one go about, if they are aware of something going on somewhere? What do we do?
Good question.
Who do we contact?
You contact the Organized Crime Unit in Athens. And I will post that phone number on the homepage, actually. I better put it back. Yeah. There are 2 numbers at the Anti-Human Trafficking Office in Athens, and go straight to that. Cut everything else out.
Not local.
It's their field of expertise. It's organized crime.
So it's up to them to contact the local authorities over there?
No, they take it as they need to.
How effective are they?
Very.
Good.
Yes, because the way that you gather evidence is very important. They don't mess up with gathering evidence, because then the defense lawyer will throw it out of court. They're very careful. They're very. No other option anyway. But yeah. Any questions? Any thoughts? Time to feel hopeful. In an appropriate, age-appropriate, sensitive, intelligent way. Now that you know what you know, and I hope, do you feel that you've learned something in the last hour? Yeah. It's time to feel, bizarrely, it's time to feel empowered by that knowledge. I think as educators, yeah. Slavery will continue on the planet unless educators become part of the movement. Because you guys are what create change for me.
And facilitators should be put into jail.
What's that?
And facilitators should be put into jail.
Yes.
Educators will help.
Yeah. Yes.
Judy, so far on the subject of decision, not parents,
Yes.
behind closed doors, have you had negative reaction by any of the parents?